Mr. Allen, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you for participating today. Obviously, from the business standpoint, at least in my industry, the construction industry, in our subcontractual relationships, we have both union and non-union subcontractors, and we handle that on the same job site, maybe using two different gates or whatever, and accommodating. And of course, the manpower industry is growing at a very rapid rate in this country, and many of these manpower companies operate both open shop and union. So we've got to come to some solution on this problem. And Mr. King, it's been suggested that indemnification clauses in contracts can protect franchisors and contracting companies from liability for the actions of franchisors and contractors. Would you like to comment on that?
Yes, Congressman. First, I'd like to identify with remarks Mrs. Thompson made on that point. It's not practical. In fact, I spent 25 years advising employers in these matters. I remember one day suggesting that approach because of the way the law was evolving in this area, bringing in business entities to court when we didn't need and shouldn't be there. And that general counsel turned to me and said, "This makes no sense. I have hundreds of prime subcontractors and hundreds more of subcontractors. I don't even know who all those people are. You're going to ask me to go forward for months and months to negotiate indemnification clauses? And furthermore, Mr. King, couldn't those negotiations in and of themselves be used as an indicia of control to be used against us to be found to be a joint employer?" And he finally said, "Why are we having this conversation at all? Because my company shouldn't be at the end of these lawsuits. We shouldn't be subject to this type of litigation." So it's not a practical solution.
What is a practical solution?
To bring some clarity to this area of the law. Now, I've heard this one size fits all, and that's the mantra, apparently. That's not what we're suggesting. A statute, and Mr. Burns is absolutely correct, a statute passed by this body, not some administrative law institute or some court, a statute passed by this body can provide flexibility, it can list a multiplicity of factors, and can give guidance to the courts and the regulatory bodies. You tell me that a 15-factor test used by the EEOC gives clarity to anything. Absolutely not. So the answer to your question is this body can and should provide clarity in this area and can do so by incorporating definitions from the common law. I keep hearing common law all morning. That's fine. We can take those definitions and put them in a statute. The responsibility belongs with this body, not somebody else.
Thank you very much for your input there. Mr. Reese, why is a company like DatDog more at risk from an expanding joint employer standard than larger multinational chains?
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry?
Yes, sir. Why would your company be more at risk from an expanding joint employer standard than, say, of larger multinational chains that...
Exactly what you said, the size. I can't weather that storm,
right,
like some of these other companies can.
Right.
I'm still hoping, our business does
hoping
well.
To be a multinational one.
Hoping to
right.
get there.
Yeah.
And if we don't get there, it will be because we're stagnant and we're not growing because of this standard.
Yeah, and we're seeing that in the regulatory process. I mean, it's killing the small business community in this country. And just like this stuff, trying to clarify this, and I mean, it's just... you can only throw so much at us that we can overcome, particularly on, economy that's not growing and difficult margins. Mrs. Thompson, you were once a franchisee and now work on the other side as a franchisor. What are the benefits of buying a franchise instead of opening an independent business?
Probably the best thing is the system. It's a blueprint or a recipe for how you succeed in that particular business. When I started as a franchisee, they taught me everything from how to read a profit and loss statement to how to bake the cookies to how to run my business. And I can honestly say I would not be sitting here today having been a successful business person if my franchisor had not provided the systems to me so that I could ramp up in business quicker. I didn't come in with a lot of money. You can imagine the Marine Corps didn't pay me a lot of money through my service.
And this model has created more small businesses in this country than anything.
Yes, sir, it certainly has.
And what we're talking about today it has a tremendous impact on the growth of that
I
industry.
wouldn't be sitting here today if I weren't so passionate and so worried about where we're heading.
I've got a few seconds. Small business
Mr.
generates 70%
You're out
of
of
all
time.
job growth, and we've got to fix it. Thank you.